Hello, I think we're live. My name is Jamie J. I am the owner of Bottleneck Distant Assistance and also your host live with Bottleneck. And today we're going to be talking with Jill Schiefelbein, or Schiefelbein, pronounced in German there. We're going to have some fun talking maybe about little AI stuff today and how that can affect you in a positive way. So I'm kind of excited about this conversation. And stay tuned. We'll jump right into this. We'll be back in about, I'm going to say 43 seconds. Hello and welcome to Live with Bottleneck. I am your host, Jamie J, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business and your life. And I am excited today to welcome Jill Schiefelbein, and we're going to be talking about how artificial intelligence is changing the sales experience. But I think there's a couple things that have been going on in Jill's life, and she's going to be updating us some tweaks and some changes, some new things that are going on, and I can't wait to share that with you. Why can Jill help stop the bottleneck in your business? Well, let me tell you. Well, Jill is an award-winning entrepreneur, author, and recovering academic. She taught business communication at Arizona State University for 11 years before venturing into entrepreneurship. Jill's business, the Dynamic Communicator, helps organize and navigate the physical and digital communication spaces to attract customers, increase sales, and retain clients. Her book, Dynamic Communication, 27 Strategies to Grow, Lead, and Manage Your Business, hit stores in March of 2017. So it's been around for a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and jump into this conversation, have some fun. And without any further ado, please allow me to introduce you to Jill. And how are you, Jill?
Yay, I'm here.
There you are. Now, this is Jill and not your avatar, correct?
This is actually me, and that's going to make more sense to everyone in a little bit.
Wonderful. Well, I wonder, normally I like to jump into this thing right away, but maybe we can get a little bit more background on who you are, what you've been up to. I know I read the bio there and kind of updated there, but what kind of are you up to right now, and who is Jill? You got a lot of stuff going on.
Why the heck are we talking about artificial intelligence and sales when my bio didn't directly talk about AI, right? So it's been a fun world in the past, handful of years since the last book came out. I mean, my whole professional life has been about communication, and specifically about the intersections of communication, education, and technology. And in the past handful of years, there have been so many advances in the world of artificial intelligence, in the world of machine learning, and quite frankly, in the world of how important video has become to us, right? I mean, especially in the past couple of years. I think, in 2018, I was telling my clients, I want to run workshops for all of you on how to run effective video meetings. This was in 2018 and 2019. And they're all like, no, we don't really need this. I don't see us using that a whole lot. And then, well, we all know what happened next.
That's what happened.
So, enter COVID, and all of those same clients called back and said, okay, so you told us we need this, so we need you now. So please come back and help us with this. And now that we all understand how video can be effective, how we can all be remote, how we are all now more adapted to using technologies in different ways, we all realize the increased importance of video content even more, right? And it's no longer a nice to have when it comes to sales in your business and when it comes to relationships in your business. It is a must have, right? And I'm sure you're seeing that a lot, Jamie.
Minimum. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's why you're doing this as a video cast instead of a podcast.
Absolutely.
Right? So with that being said, I started to look for ways that could be more efficient and effective in producing good quality video. Not this like, hey guys, what's up? I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because for certain businesses, that's okay. But when you're talking about B2B, a business to business sales, when you're talking about 6-figure, 7-figure, sometimes 8-figure contracts, hey, what's up videos aren't cutting it. And you need that personalization. So recovering academic, now still kind of academic because, during COVID, I decided why the heck not go back and get my doctorate in business because, why not?
Why not?
Personalization is the number one factor in customer experience success and longevity for customers and customer loyalty and return customers, like all of this. We know all this. We know video content is one of the top ways to get it, but it takes a darn long time to produce good video content. Like Jamie, this show that you're doing, like how long did it take you to get to this point where you could set it up in such a professional way?
Yeah, it took a lot of trials and tribulations.
Right? And you probably wake up looking like that, right? I don't wake up looking like this. As much as I'd like to say I do, I don't.
Well, I have to straighten out the beard a little bit. It gets a little crooked.
You put on a hat, if it's a little oily, you need to clean it up a little bit. But the reality is, most of us don't wake up and just spryly want to get on camera. And most of us aren't perfect and can say the perfect things at the perfect time. So if there's a solution that can utilize technology to help us create content in a professional way that can help bridge the gap between time and efficiency and that personalization in a customer experience, wouldn't that be useful?
I think it'd be fantastic. Anyway, anytime you can leverage technology to kind of put you in a better position.
And that's where AI comes in. And that's where synthetic media comes in. And so not too long ago, I found a company that is the first of its type. It was actually it's in beta right now, very still early on, experimenting with technology, doing artificially intelligent custom AI video avatars that look like you, sound like you, are not the BS stock avatars that, people put in training videos and whatnot, but are pretty much you, and all you have to do is type in a script and boom, it's you on video.
That's incredible. That's incredible. How did you now I've full transparency, I've seen the videos.
Yeah.
So you can definitely tell that there's an avatar versus the real Jill, right? But it's kind of interesting and intriguing and keeps my attention.
And if you're not putting this off as this is me, right? If in the relationships with your customers, you're using them as a communication tool, as a way to personalize message, as a way to get across more communication cues, and research and science show that the more communication cues that are present, the higher affinity that we have with that communication channel, it impacts our perception. You're more likely to receive the message in a different way. And so if someone knows that, hey, you're going to get a message from Jill, it's going to be personalized, it's going to be Jill's avatar, it becomes a thing. And then you have this other channel of communication that's not text, it's not audio based, it's not, I have to get on a phone call. It's something that can be consumed asynchronously, that's convenient for the person whenever they want it. And it's an amazing experience.
It's absolutely incredible. I was going through this site earlier. This is your avatar.
It's absolutely my avatar. And that is version like 0.1 of the avatar. There's an even better one now.
Right. Is it better than this one too?
Better than this one
too.
I like this.
Wait, how are we both here at the same time?
Like that to me just blows my mind that that's even possible nowadays.
Not only is it possible, that was a first version. In 8 months since that version was done, the technology has gotten so much better. And actually, I'm trying to get, since I can't share from my screen like that, if you go to the top of that page, Jamie, that you were on, there's a presentation that loads, and viewers, you can all go to this to see how crazy the technology is.
And you can go here and what's the web address?
The dynamicjill.com, and at the very top, just click on the AI video avatars link, and you'll be able to see all of it. But at the top, that video avatars presentation that you see, if you go to the third slide on that, in that presentation.
Oh, in this one.
Yeah, this is a research-based presentation I did for a design science conference. Click on that, put it on full screen, and then click on that third video.
By nature of its definition, synthetic media is meant to be produced and reproduced. Therefore, it's important to have a strong set of both legal and ethical parameters in place to protect the creators and users of these technologies. In the creation of the avatar, the client grants separate, explicit permissions.
So that's in the studio filming it, just as an example. But how much better is that in 8 months?
That's insane.
In 8 months, the technology and our ability to combine AI, combine ML, and using GAN's generative adversarial networks, nerd speak technology, to incorporate those things, starting to get things, changing voices, how we capture the audio recording. You know, the biggest competition out there right now is starting to take your likeness on video, but capturing it, one, from not as high quality of a studio, but then pairing it with a synthetic voice that's not yours. Like, that's the closest thing. So this is all custom. It is your video, it's your voice, and it's blended together. We're using emotional drivers, we're using different things, and it's still at the stage where we have a human doing quality analysis on it to make sure that it is a true form of synthetic media. It is actually you being represented in that.
Yeah, I don't even know how you're getting to that point yet and how you're incorporating all the technology together. What's the benefit, the main benefit, to having a video? Like, obviously we know a video is better. 83% of people that make a decision, according to, I forget what the study was, watch a video before they actually buy something, right?
Yeah.
So video is super important. Plus it ranks really well in the search engines. But how much more effective, and what can you do to utilize these videos in your communication or your sales?
Yeah, so many different ways, right? So number one, think of it this way. You have sales. Let's say you have a database of 1,000 people. And obviously for most sales teams, you have 20% of your clients that bring you 80% of your revenue. You're going to always treat your top 20% differently. We just are, right? We categorize those. We have different relationships with them, et cetera. Now you have this whole other 80%, and we may have been communicating them with some basic emails, some mass emails, whatever, not very personalized. Maybe we did some mail merge fields or something like that. This is now a step up from that communication. This is a way to do this where what you're doing is, with our application, you are literally copying and pasting scripts. These scripts can function like a mail merge, where you could pull data using AI from your CRM, importing it into different mail merge fields, and boom, you have a video script. Boom, you have a video script. Boom, you have a video script. You can have text call outs on the screen. You can have all these different things that are mass producing professional quality video. And again, different for gentlemen sometimes, but especially for ladies. You're not putting on hair and makeup. You don't have to find a studio or pay hundreds to thousands of dollars to rent. You don't have to set up your sound, set up your lighting, do any of that stuff. And it's your avatar, so you can have any background behind you that you want. Like, I'm in a podcast studio right now. The avatar studio is actually right over there. I'm on site at this new company headquarters that I'm a part of. We have a podcast studio here. We have the avatar studio over there. you don't have to have any of that. It can literally be, you're doing it on your phone. I'm on an airplane thinking, oh my gosh, I just met this person next to me who is going to be a very cool contact. His name is George. I'm going to now send an email and write a script to George so that when he lands, his email is going to have, or within a day. So right now, in fairness, the technology, because we're still quality checking everything, it's half a day, same day delivery on professional quality video at very minimal cost. Like, it's insanity. So that's a use case example for sales right there.
Yeah, what's neat about that too, I actually kind of like the day delay, so to speak, because it's kind of
not too creepy.
It's really cool because I've had conversations with people, like you said, 20, 80, 80, 20 rule, whatever. But I've had conversations and they would do their little Loom videos to say thanks. Maybe the next day, hey, thank you so much. I picked this and this out. That was really good. Little touches like that, little attention to detail is fantastic for building relationships.
It matters. Little things have always been important. They're the easiest things to fall through the cracks, though. And with this, again, you don't forget to do it. You do it right away. You get it in the application. The video gets rendered. The company's called Render Media. So it's rendering a version of you. The thing gets rendered, it's there for you. And then you can distribute it, whether it's email, whether you're downloading it, whether you're putting it on social, whatever you're doing with it afterwards, you do it. But when you're thinking of it, all it is type up the script. You can even do voice to text straight into it for your script and you're done. You can set it and forget it. So it's almost like
you do the recording of you one time, like a video of you, and then after that, then after you're done.
Yeah, one time with your video, one time with your voice. The whole experience takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Wow. And then you just have unlimited videos created simply by adding in.
Yeah, and then it's a minute by minute video production cost. That is insanely affordable compared to what you would be doing any other time. I mean, you hire a video editor, you're looking at $75, $100, $150 a minute to do professional video editing.
Yeah.
Once you do the avatar, you're looking at $50 a minute.
So have you gotten any negative feedback? And if so, what was that feedback?
Yeah. We're still in beta. Right. So there's tons of feedback as we're growing through all of this. The biggest negative feedback that we have right now, and it is without question the biggest challenge, is not exactly tying the emotion in the voice perfectly. 100%. 100%. And if you talk about any type of artificial intelligence, and when we start to talk about sentient beings and that type of stuff, it's that complete human replication. And again, that's why if you have to send a sincere, serious, trying to drive home a strong personalization point message, this isn't the medium to do it. And I would never tell you that it is, right?
Right.
But my role as chief experience officer in this company is, let's find some use cases. Let's talk about where in your sales life cycle this is going to be a strategic use. And for those 80% where you haven't gotten much traction, let's try a strategic personalized approach. Let's talk about your AI chatbots that you have in your customer experience thing and where a video, a little personalization might help. Let's talk about where before you even meet a sales rep, you could have that sales rep's video avatar pop up, introduce themselves to you in a personalized way. It's be like, hey, my name's Jill. Well, actually, I'm Jill's avatar, but someone who looks just like me is going to be meeting with you next week. And here are some things that I've already learned from your profile. Please let me know if you want me to know anything else ahead of time, right?
That's insane. That right there, I think would be a game changer. That in addition to the little chat bots, that you have, you're popping up there. I love the fact that's an incredible. Have you had people do that yet?
We have a lot of use cases that we're working on. Use cases where, for example, let's say you have a franchise, right? Another massive use case. You have a franchise where there's a centrally generated piece of communication that needs to have maybe compliance behind it or needs to be very brand strategic in the way that it's messaged and communicated. However, it would be best delivered locally. So just for sake of discussion here, let's say that every McDonald's in the country needed to communicate a certain message, but McDonald's headquarters needed to create it, but it would be best if it came from the individual owner of each franchise. What a perfect case for an avatar. A franchise could create it, press a couple buttons, we do custom solution integrations, boom, now all million or whatever branches, if they all had their avatars, boom, they have this video created, it shows up in their application, they just click on whatever button they want to distribute it in whatever way they need. So it's like, it's insane, right? So if you're an owner of a franchise or you have any type of compliance issues with your communication financial services companies, for example, you're talking like market analysis reports, anything like that, those are huge use cases. Me personally, like some of the things that interest me on a well-being side is think of, you know, you leave a doctor's office, you leave a hospital, what happens? You get these pieces of freaking paper, right?
Lots of paper.
Lots of paper. And what happens? You leave them in your car, they get in the recycle bin. A lot of them end up in gas station, parking lot trash cans at some point in time. Whereas what if it's your doctor the next day that's on your phone that's saying, hey, Jill, remember, you're supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. You know, I am trying to get a grant right now with my doctoral research to study, would that actually increase patient care and follow-up and, you know, efficacy on that type of thing?
I think about it too. Look at all the people that schedule an appointment and don't show up, right? Or they say, hey, yes, here's your appointment at 11 o'clock, but show up at 10 o'clock so you can fill out all the stuff. What if you had something that could be sent to those patients saying, okay, this is what you need to be prepared for, blah, 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 blah. You know, heck, you can even log online and do it now. You know, something like that. I think it would be so incredible. And you're leveraging your time like a madman.
It's those small touches of personalization. I will never forget. And God, well, I will forget the year clearly because I just did, but like in the, it was like, I don't know, 2009, 10 or something like that. Single woman living alone, had to get my car windshield fixed, and Safelite was coming to my home because, you know, it was a service they provided. I will never forget how I felt when I got an email from Safelite with the name and the picture of the service technician who was going to be coming to my home to repair my windshield. And I remember seeing that so clearly, obviously a decade ago, that I still talk about it to this day. How smart is that to decrease uncertainty in your customer, to increase the safety that you feel, to increase all of these things? Now with avatars, you'd have their voice, you'd have their likeness, you'd have a whole lot of things. There's just so many potential applications for something like this. Again, my thing is when people are like, well, it's not exactly like me. Well, of course it's not. It's not you. The goal isn't to replace you. The goal is to put you in a more efficient way so that you are spending more time on the top 20% of your customers and not worrying about doing personalization for those other 80%. The goal is you're spending more time one-on-one with your patients instead of worrying about filling out all these forms perfectly, because now when you do those voice notes as a doctor, it automatically with an API can get sent to this that immediately generates a video that goes into a system for follow-up. You know, you can program all of those things out. It makes us more efficient. And when people say, well, technology is ruining us, blah, blah, blah. Well, inefficient and unethical uses of technology ruin us. Absolutely. Of course. Same with any technology, starting with the pen, right? And the pencil and carving, you know, and the wheel. Right. Any poor use of communication, of course, can be used for ill. But when it's used well, it enables us to do what we do best, which is be human, which is relate with people, which is build relationships, be more innovative, drive those changes, drive those developments. And that's what I find so exciting about this. And in the sales process, you're effectively asking someone to change their status quo. And if you're going to ask them to do that, it has to be personalized. It has to be something different. And you have to spend time on that relationship. This is a tool to help you spend more time in the conversations that really matter and add personalization to building up to those conversations in ways that can save you time, but still improve the experience.
Yeah. You know what I like about it too is personalization is great, but you can still create messages that you could put into perhaps an email campaign or something to that effect, preparing people. And it may not be personalized as far as, hi, Jill, this is Jamie, but Jamie's avatar. But it could be something like, hi, this is Jamie. Well, my avatar and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And at least that way, it personalizes it somewhat.
Yeah.
But you could still use it to automate an email.
Again, it's automated, it's incremental personalization. Again, it is not replacing you, it's just adding a little extra layer. It's adding that little extra oomph that we don't have. It's adding some surprise. It's changing the status quo of what people are used to. And yeah, 10 years from now, where this is, no longer something that is an investment and something that we have to work at. And in 10 years from now, this is like a technology that all of us have, simply at the touch of our phones, right? It will be different, and there'll be something new and innovative, and hopefully we'll be on the front lines of that too. But, right now, this is an opportunity to really get ahead. And now this small and medium businesses can't afford this now. And that's how I got into it, because I'm like, this is intriguing. I'm a micro business myself. And I'm like, but this is worth investing in, because it leverages my time for the cost of what it costs me to rent out a studio for, New York prices, a day and a half. I have an avatar and a full hour's worth of avatar content over the course of a year.
Now, and when it's blown me away, but so you said it takes about 90 minutes. Can you do that in the comfort of your own home?
No, you do need to do it at the quality that we want to do, which is very important.
We need to go to.
Yeah. We have a location in Burlington, Vermont. That's a static location, but starting next month, we will have mobile locations. Our first one is in Nashville in July. We'll have one in New York City in August. We're currently planning September locations. The website isn't even ready. We have rendermedia.ai is the website, and we're just starting the wait list. In another week, we'll have the full calendar and everything up there in a week or two. But it's all very, very new. We're still in beta. It's still very much beta, so it's intro stages. But
So how do people reach out? How do they get in touch with you if they want to learn more? If they want to get on a wait list? If they're really interested in maybe the different possibilities that this can help them with?
Find me on social media is the easiest way. We're still rolling out everything. I'm Dynamic Jill everywhere on social media. My website at my business is the Dynamic Communicator. You can find me there. Everything I do is getting funneled into this now. I still have my business. What's great about the entrepreneurial and the startup world is we all want everyone to be successful in multiple businesses, and they all combine together, which is so cool. And I don't know. It's just so exciting, because communication, again, if we can leverage our humanity to be more efficient with technology and then be more genuine and more conversational where it really matters, how cool is that?
I think it's freaking amazing. I'm a fan of technology. I would consider myself kind of a starter geek, an early adopter of things. And I like figuring things out. This doesn't work, and I trip and fall and try and fix and all this stuff. Like you, I did the Zoom, how to do your green screen in 2013 or something like that, right? And, I love doing that stuff. A lot of people kind of like to see it get going and working out, specifically according to Brian Moran of Crossing the Chasm, about 34.1% of the people like to kind of hang out, I like jumping in early. And so for you to do something like this, thank you first and foremost, because I know it's a challenge. I can appreciate all the work that needs to go into this, and people not knowing what it's about. So if you don't know, you're a little timid, you're a little scared. Think of social media back in the day.
Oh my gosh. Right.
Why would I use social media? So I think a platform like this, incorporating AI or machine learning, whatever it is, it's something that I think we all need to embrace to understand better and not be scared of it. But like I said, embrace it. And I think anything that we can do to leverage our time to focus on doing our best work, whatever that may be, various things, only helps provide better customer service.
Well, and that's if you're in business because you believe in your ability, whether it's you as a service or your product as a service, you believe in you or your product's ability to improve the condition of someone else's life. That's why we're in business. That's why you create a business, right? Now, I'm sure, yeah, sure, there can be a profit motive and all of that, right? And I'm not negating that at all. But at the core, if you as a service or your product doesn't improve someone's condition, like you're not going to have a business. So at the core,
So
we all
true.
believe that.
Yep.
And if we can leverage, this category of these avatars is called synthetic media. And there's still a lot of education that needs to come out around that, right? Which is also part of my job as CXO here is a synthetic media category. But if we can leverage tools like this, so people listening, if you're thinking, well, where the heck might I integrate this? If these examples, you're like, oh, that's exciting, but wait, hold on. How do I do it in my place? Think about anywhere in your business where you now have a mail merge, where you now have a template for something. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to work there, but that's where you start. Things that are templated, things where you're merging in different fields, things where, you may have some big data integration or something is being pulled from one area to another to try to make formulas, to try to figure things out. Those may be good candidates for this. I mean, professional content creation and video production is a major obstacle for small and medium businesses. And it is a major obstacle for large businesses too, but typically they have money that they can throw at those problems, right? They don't have time, right? Their executives don't have time. So that's also a challenge. But they typically have funds that they can figure out ways to make it happen more creatively, right? But for small and medium businesses, we don't.
You know what is, and obviously you already know this, but something I just thought about was I am a busy CEO. I am busy. That's why I have an assistant company, right? And I have my own assistant. We have a team of people that are doing a lot of things because I don't have the time to do every single thing we do in this organization. However, leveraging the synthetic avatar, or is that what you call it? Synthetic?
Yeah, synthetic media, but
synthetic
your
media.
avatar.
I love category design, by the way. Play Bigger, good book on category design by Christopher Walken. I love that. But we're doing synthetic media. I could have someone on my team write out an email, and it's me or my avatar actually talking. So again, not only am I leveraging my time in one way, but now I can have someone else creating content that is actually my avatar sharing that content.
100%. Now, I do need to say something. Disclaimer, like in bright flashing lights, we do have safeguards and protections built in the app so that without explicit permissions, sign-offs, and a whole lot of things, no one else can be submitting content to use your avatar or likeness without a whole lot of red tape being crossed. Like,
that's perfect.
It's so hugely important. Like before you create something in the app, you actually even have to record yourself in the app infrastructure. And after dual authentication login, you have a video and vocal facial recognition and audio recognition match before we'll even produce a rendered output.
Yeah, see, I love that. I'm all about security. We're a remote-based business. I'm huge into security, and I think that's fantastic. But one of the benefits I could see from this is me sharing my message, tone, voice, whatever, with my team creating a campaign that they can pretty much build in my likeness.
Completely.
Yeah, that's insane. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, think of how many CEOs have speechwriters and they literally go up on stages without ever having read the speech in the first place, and that's the first time they're ever delivering it. And honestly,
I've done that before.
The same thing. Well, the same thing. People are going on video. The technology is getting to the point. And if you go to that site and you're watching the videos, especially the ones that are in that sub presentation, the new avatar version, you look at those. That was research I did for a design science conference. So if you're like academic nerdy, you can go and read through that, and it gets into the weeds on some of the use cases and like the justification for it. But even with those, you'll notice that it kind of looks like a person reading a teleprompter, which if you are not, a 10-year experienced veteran on being on camera and not using scripts like I am, and you're a person who reads off of teleprompters regularly and does it average like most people do, because that's not your job, the avatar is probably going to be better than you on camera most of the time.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, I want to respect your time. I've got a little bit overboard on this, but is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap today?
No, the only thing is like my background, as we said earlier, like 20 plus years studying, learning, looking at communication, like, and it all comes down to how we interact as humans. And now, technology is a variable in that interaction. But at the core, it's how we as humans receive it. So it's all about the setup of the communication. So if you're communicating using any technology, a synthetic media avatar, an email, a text message, whatever it is, it's all about how you set up, how you position it to your audience. So think about that strategically. Think about that no matter what form of media, what channel you're using, that setup matters just as much, sometimes if not more than the actual communication itself. And that's what people often forget.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share this with us. That's super cool stuff.
It's so fun, Jamie. Thank you.
Yeah, this is. I love this stuff. I love technology. I'm a geek. I love it. Do you have just a moment to hang on while I go ahead and wrap up? Really?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jill. Right. that was amazing. I was talking with Jill Schiefelbein, and we talked about how artificial intelligence is changing the sales experience. And we talked about a brand new category that I've never heard of. You may have heard of it. I haven't heard of it yet. In the synthetic communication. Is that what it was? Synthetic avatar, synthetic. Oh, I forgot what it is already again. The world is changing. The world is a lot smaller. Technology is getting better all the time. And in order for us to stay on top, on the cutting edge, especially in this type of post-COVID environment where people have really started learning more about video conferencing and communication and seeing how we can still be, and in some cases, even more productive remotely, we're having to adapt to this technology. And I'm a big believer in learning what you can to check things out early and fall on your face, learn about this stuff, question it, see where it might be able to kind of assist you. Now, I understand there's this whole squirrel effect, right? I call ESS, entrepreneurial squirrel syndrome, where things like this might take away from your exactly what you're working on. But put something into your week where you can explore new opportunities like this. And I would highly encourage you to learn more about Jill and what she's doing. And like she said, you can find her anywhere on social media. So she's on LinkedIn, she's on Facebook, it's Dynamic Jill. And she is doing a lot right now, as you've seen. Go check out those videos at the dynamicjill.com. And then at the very top, you'll see it says AI video avatars. You click on that to where you can go kind of check those things out. It's freaking cool. So spend some time on that today and see if that might help you out. So let me first say, if you want to watch other videos like this, learn how you can break through the bottleneck in your business today, go to Bottleneck.Online/BTV. And you can get more videos like this, including watching Jill's and my conversation. Also, if for some reason you haven't read my book, go to quitrepeatingyourself.com. How today's leaders are using systems and processes to grow their business the right way, not the wrong way. And as you know, we were talking to Jill Schiefelbein, and we talked about how artificial intelligence is changing the sales experience. If you missed my last conversation, I talked with Lisa Aurora, and we had a great conversation. We talked about visual meetings in a post-pandemic, and she actually records big meetings or board meetings, but artistically and imagery and stuff like that. It's really, really, really cool. So she's a visual strategist. So that was kind of a neat conversation. You might want to tune into that one. Plus, she's also a race car driver. That was pretty interesting. Coming up next to your earbuds, how to make your book and brand shine online. We're talking with Melanie Hirschhorn. She's a book marketing strategist and founder of VIP Digital Content. That's coming up Wednesday, June 22nd. 2022 at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. So looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks again for tuning in. And one more time, Jill Schiefelbein, go check it out. She's the CEO and shareholder CEO, of Dynamic Communicator, or president of Dynamic Communicator Inc. And she's got a lot of stuff going on right now. So highly recommend you reach out to her. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, create your own ripple. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.